If I could give you just one piece of advice for improving your photos and videos, it would honestly be this. It's extremely easy and it works for both photography and videography, but first we need to go out and shoot. So I'll be right back. Here's one that I want to show you. In my opinion, this is a pretty cool photograph. I think that the tower makes a nice subject and its surroundings make an alright composition. But if we were to just move the camera a little bit closer to the ground, then we can reveal this kind of fence in the shot. Having that fence in the foreground of the photo just adds so much depth and so much interest into the shot for me. And if you haven't figured it out by now, the tip that this video is about is just to have something right in front of the camera. There are a few different ways to do this. One is the one that I just showed you, where you get the camera really close to something that's in that composition. If you're shooting something like grass in the foreground, then you can even get so close that it's almost like you're shooting through that object. That's the most straightforward way to go about this, but if you don't have an object like the fence available at your location, you can also achieve a similar effect by just getting your camera really close to the ground. You could even take something from the location, like a few pieces of grass, and just use your hand to hold that in front of the camera lens. No matter which of these techniques you use to achieve the effect, it's always going to look better if you're using a wider aperture lens like f1.4 or f1.8. Using a lens with a wider aperture like that really helps to blur out that foreground. That extra blurring and bokeh that you get from having something so close to the lens is one of several different reasons that you should be doing this. Another is that it adds a lot of depth to the photo. Oftentimes when a photo looks flat or uninteresting, it's due to a lack of depth, and using a technique like this can really fix that problem and add several different layers of depth into your shot. This technique also helps you to showcase the smaller details of your location. If you're shooting at a mountain, you could just take a photo of that mountain, or you could get a much more interesting photo that says more about that location by putting maybe a plant or a flower that grows at the base of that mountain in the foreground. That way you're showing the large scale of the location, that mountain, but you're also showing the smaller details of that location through that flower in the foreground. If you do it right, you can even use this technique as a composition tool. If you look at this photo that I posted on my Instagram a few weeks back, you can see that the plant in the foreground shows kind of a box-shaped frame around the tower. Another thing I like about this technique is that it can almost give you a feeling that you're hiding or poking out from somewhere to look at something. My favorite thing about this photo that I took earlier is that it makes it feel like the tower is hidden at the end of this trail. So why not exemplify that feeling of being hidden even further by putting some grass right in front of the camera. It was there in the original photo too, but having that grass in the foreground really adds that distance between us and the tower. This photo that I got last week is kind of cool, but it's just a photo of me walking down a road. There's not any kind of substance or a feeling that you can attach to that. But if we were to move the camera to be on the side of the road, then we get an angle with a completely different feeling. We get to see a much more detailed view of the plants and moss by the side of the road, and we also get this kind of mysterious feeling, like we're showing the perspective of something lurking by the side of the road. As if improving your still photos wasn't enough, this can do even more to improve your video footage. Having some small objects in the foreground of your shot makes the camera motion in your clip feel a lot more dramatic. Having something close to the camera can make a little bit of motion go a long way, which is especially helpful for when you're shooting handheld or without the assistance of a camera stabilizer. But that is all for this week's video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, do feel free to share your support by leaving a like on the video or even subscribing to my channel. I upload new filmmaking tutorials every single Saturday. Keep creating, and I will see you in the next one.